Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today it's time for a Mega Mewtwo deck list. And yeah, it's in front of you now, so we will be jumping into the deck. I played this back in the ECC last season, so I think I've got a good amount of experience with Mega Mewtwo. Clearly one of the most hyped decks, and it's doing okay for me so far. I don't think it's, living up to the crazy amount of hype it's been getting. But it has been picking up wins here and there, and yeah, it's still definitely a solid contender in the format. It is deserved of some of the hype at the very least. So we'll be jumping into the deck list now. The one in front of you is a straight Mewtwo deck list. A lot of people have been discussing Garbodor in here, and I'm thinking right now of just playing a straight build because the matchups that I'm expecting more of are Mega v Mega decks, and these mainly don't require Garbodor, so just better off having Hex Maniac for turn 1 plays rather than having Garbodor in general, although a lot of people like having Garb to have stronger matchups against the likes of Volcanion, and it does help out in Ray just when you do hit them with Parallel. If you have Garbodor up, it's really awkward for them. Also, obviously, Greninja, if we're going to be seeing any of that. But basically, at the moment, because there's so much hype around Garbodor, I'm going to just play the straight build and try and beat those people who have the more clunky, inconsistent builds with Garb in. So that's the mindset with this list. So we will jump straight into it. We have 4 of the non-EX Mewtwo. It has to be this one because of damage change. It's a huge factor of the Mewtwo deck. For a 2 Psychic and a Colorless energy, we switch all the damage counters from this Pokemon with those on your opponent's active Pokemon. So the idea is when things can't one-hit KO Mewtwo, we're going to place the damage back onto them if we can't knock them out straight away with the Mega, which is also good. Then we have the first attack actually, which is worth noting. Shatter Shot does 30 times the number of Psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. Most notably, this hits for weakness, so if in mirror matches we have the Shrine up, this can be a very good option for you, so bear that in mind. Then we have the Mega Mewtwo. 210 HP is a bit of a hurdle for quite a few decks. There's a couple of one-hit KO things out there like Rainbow Road and Rayquaza. Beyond that, a lot of things, unless they're hitting us for weakness, aren't going to be reaching that number. So Psychic Infinity is going to be handy as an attack, but just the HP alone is great for making damage change useful to us. The attack that the Mega offers just gives us huge pressure, really. We sit here with a Mewtwo and try and stack energy on and make it very awkward for them because they have to one-hit through us or we're going to change damage onto other things. And in general, we have this just poking away for big numbers if they're choosing not to attack or trying to Lysandre around Mewtwo, which is sometimes viable options for the opponent because they're worried about playing into damage change. So Psychic Infinity does 10 plus 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon, and notably it doesn't apply weakness but still does apply resistance, which is actually like a weird thing. Normally we see attacks say weakness and resistance are ignored, but here we get like double negative. We do apply resistance but don't apply weakness, which is just annoying, but it's still a really powerful attack. We have DCE in here to accelerate, we have Mega Turbo and manual attachments on top of that, so really powerful, hard-hitting attacker, let alone whatever your opponent has in the active position, so really good stuff. The whole deck is based around Mewtwo, as you can see. The other 2 Pokemon we're playing in the deck are just consistency cards. The one Hoopa Scoundrel Ring is going to get us into plenty of Mewtwo and hopefully some Megas, as well as our other Pokemon Shaymin EX, helping us set up, draw some cards, etc. These are all we need. I'll go on to discuss some other options that you could play in this deck later on, but for now, Mewtwo is Mewtwo. That's what we're going to try and win our games with, basically. So there we go. Next up, we have one Super Rod. Just going to shuffle back in our Pokemon if we've maybe prized some pieces of the Mewtwo line. It could be awkward for us. Could additionally get some Psychic Energy late game back into the deck. Normally, we want them still in the discard pile for Mega Turbo value, but at the same time, it can help us out late game. We are playing one physical switch, not just 2 Floatstone, because that makes us slightly weaker to Giratina, which is popular right now. Additionally, if we need to move a Mewtwo without having to pay the retreat cost, we can just use a switch as well, because normally our Mewtwos are going to have Spirit Links on them, so I like the split of 1-1 in here. 3 Mega Turbo. I remember in my ECC list I played a full 4 count, but that was because we had Battle Compressor. So now they're pretty dead until you start hitting your Mega Evolutions and start getting these into the discard pile. The 4 counts of male Ultra Ball VS Seeker, I think every profile I've done since the new format has had those 4 ofs. So there we go. On to the supporters. You can see we play quite a few 1-ofs and quite a few 2-ofs as well. The 1-off Skyla is a factor you're seeing a lot in my personal Mega decks because it's a card that I just really like to have. And notably as well, if this gets into your discard pile, it's a VS secretable way of getting into Floatstone or Switch because we can't fill the void of AZ right now, but Skyla is sort of that option, as well as being turn 1, a 5th Ultra Ball, or a way into Shrine, a way into Spirit Link. These really important cards that you need to hit your combo. Skyla can get you there, which is kind of cool. We are playing Pokemon Ranger. It's going to help out. It can help out against Giratina if we don't have Hex, because we can damage change back onto them, because we're able to Ranger, then play the Stadium, damage change just to heal us up. Additionally, we can Ranger through just anything really. Just Rangering through stuff is important sometimes. Mainly Giratina. Not too much against that, like Regice and Glaceon, I guess, but you can still damage change to heal your way off them, and then they're not getting anywhere, so they pretty much have to bench stuff for you. So Ranger's not 100% mandatory, but I do like it in this deck just for options. We are playing the Pokemon Center Lady as well. Oftentimes, people that can't one-hit KO Mewtwo are going to try and do a small amount of chip damage first, because that way they're not opening themselves up to damage changes quite as much. Like, if they start putting 100-ish damage onto the Mewtwo, then we can start Lysandring around and taking KOs with damage change, which is really cool for us. So more likely, people are going to go for the 50, 60, 70 mark with these attacks to soften up the Mewtwo for then a larger attack the following turn. Well, in those cases, we Pokemon Center Lady, heal fully up, and they're back to square one, which is really good for us. So Center Lady, really, really huge. The 2-of Hex Maniac. Of course, we're not playing the Garbo build in here, so we need to have Hex. Great things come when you just do this on turn 1. If you've been able to Ultra Ball into Hoopa, Shaymin for cards, get your ideal setup without the use of a supporter, and you're able to find Hex on the way, it's a great thing to disrupt other Megas, and I get a lot of wins just because I've Hexed and they can't Hoopa turn 1. Then they have a half-bake approach against us because they're a turn behind. We start putting pressure on the following turn straight away. It's just really good for us. So hexing is just so big against a heavy Mega format because Hoopa's so clutch. So Hex is great for that. Obviously it gets us through Giratina, it gets us through Greninja as best we can. Normally we just sit and pressurize for a bit, and then Hex can carry us for 2 or 3 turns when they start going breaks. But until then, it's not too big of an issue in the first place. So Hex is fine as a 2 count, I think. That's all we need to get over stuff. 2 Lysandre. I think it's important to have the 2 count because when people are going for 2-hit KOs on us, we can easily Lysandre, like Shaymin, damage change, take 2 prizes, we've been fully healed. People can't play around damage change a lot of the time. So just Lysandering stuff, taking the easy prizes, it's cool for us whilst we get the heal going off. 2N as well, just a more shuffle draw, big consistency card. I think 2's been a staple when I'm building my early lists, and I've not found a reason to cut it just yet, so there we go. And for Sycamore as well, just more discard draw, very powerful supporter, gets Mega Turbo value going, so that seems pretty good to me. Onto our stadiums, we're playing a total of 4, but only 3 Shrine. I think if Mega Ray starts going down in hype, / Rainbow Road, because that's also looking pretty hype and pretty good right now. I think Jack's going to be doing that later on in the week. I need the slot for Parallel City, so we're just playing 3 Shrine. This is the way that we damage change, so it's a hugely important card in this deck, but only the 3 count because we want to have the slot for 1 Parallel. Parallel is useful for denying the opponent's easy Shaymins and Hoopas, so they can't Lysandre around us for prizes to keep up in tempo. At the same time, we're going to try and hurt Rainbow Road and Ray as much as possible. Normally we're going to try and combine it with an N or with a Hex or something like that when we are up against the Rayquaza player. Otherwise, seemingly so far, it's too easy for Ray to stockpile back up and get big damage. So have to time the Parallel City quite nicely to get good benefits from it, but it's still worth the 1-off count in here. over just a 4th Shrine right now, in my opinion. Like I said, the 1 float combines with the switch to help us out. This could be a full 2 switch count, seeing as though we are playing the parallel. It's just turn 1 you might need to get that movement, and it's just a nice option to have, I think, overall. Especially if we can't dig for parallel quite nicely. It's not really cool to Skyla for parallel, it doesn't seem strong. So having 2 total switching options is definitely correct right now, at least. It's just how you want to split it up. At the moment I'm happy with just the 1 float. And for Spirit Link, just for consistency, the deck is all Mewtwo. We got to hit him, we got to get it out as quickly as possible. So there we go for Spirit Link. Rounding out with a total of 11 energy, 4 of them of course being Double Colorless. That's the attack cost, where we start off with a base of 70 with Psychic Infinity, as long as the opponent has no energy on them. And it's just going to help because we have a single colorless cost for damage change. That can even help out in that department as well. And the 7 Psychic I think is probably fine. With 3 Mega Turbo we see it often enough for manual attachments, and we get turbo value quite often in the deck. So there it is, guys. Oh, actually let's talk about some inclusions that could be in the deck. A non-EX slot is something that I'm kind of looking into right now for a slot. I cut, I originally had Absol in here. I ended up cutting it for Super Rod just for overall consistency and such. But Absol could be a good option in here. Like I was saying with Pokemon Center Lady, people are trying to play around damage change by doing little prods of damage to you. So just moving counters off their guy so that your damage change works a little bit nicer can be good. Additionally, just getting some off them, so when you damage change damage from theirs onto you, it gets back into good shape, so you're not losing out in that regard. As well as just being a non-EX. I don't think this is the best option, but it can sometimes be important in Mewtwo mirrors. If you can get a little bit of cheeky damage onto something else, it can just force their Mewtwo into a bit more of an awkward spot, which is cool. We also have Hawlucha, which is a nice one-off you have to consider. One-sided rope can just be clutch at times. If you can, if people are stacking up EXs on the bench and stuff like that, we can just cyclone it out the way. And it's searchable, so that's not bad. Another option is, of course, Bunnelby. This is a nice one-off that I like using quite a bit. And yeah, it takes a lot of resources to get over Mewtwo sometimes. So your opponent's deck can run pretty thin, and Bunnelby comes in and clinches victories. Again, if you're low on resources, Bunnelby could be the option. You could want to play this over Super Rod. I think that makes a pretty reasonable straight swap, because this helps you get resources back the same way Rod does, as well as being a non-EX, so that could work as well. Obviously, there is the Garbodor. One thing about Garb for me, I think it takes up too many slots right now, just of consistency. Also, you pretty much still need to play 1 Hex Maniac, because otherwise, like, Giratinas can just Lysandre Garb, and then they win the game. Other than you, like, Rangering and damage changing and stuff like that, but it just feels awful. So, at the moment, I'm opposed to Garb in the Mewtwo build, just because it just eats up slots for me. At least currently in the meta, because there's so many Megas, it doesn't seem that worth it. A couple of items we could think about going for is Special Charge is going to be one of them. Here we go. Because we are DC reliant, so just recycling those, getting full value is going to be handy. And additionally, Olympia, hopefully I have it in here. There we go. Olympia is a nice option. It's a supporter switching card. Like I was saying with the Skyla type thing, where you need to have a VS Secretable target to move your dudes around. Olympia can be that thing for you, as well as getting a cheeky 30 damage heal as well, which could be nice. I'd like to see, if I had room for a slot, I'd definitely try out the Olympia. Right now I haven't found it more useful than Pokemon Center Lady, because maths wise PCL just makes a lot of sense for me. So there it is, guys. There's the list. It's very basic, straightforward. Do what it says on the tin, because Mewtwo in itself is just a powerful effects of damage change and Psychic Infinity, so just get it going as often as possible is the best way to victory, in my personal opinion right now. So we'll jump into the ladder and see if we can get some wins with this deck. We will be flipping a coin, and we win the flip, so we get to choose to go first here, which is always what we should be doing, because it means we can Mega quicker, it means we can get Hoopa value, which is already in our hand, and it means we have the potential to turn 1 Hex Maniac, which could also be pretty sweet. So we'll see what we're up against, and play accordingly. Looks like we're up against Volcanion, And this is one of the matchups where you might prefer to have Garbodor, but additionally Pokemon Center Lady is going to be really useful in this matchup. We're going to grab Ultra Ball straight away. I know we already have the Hoopa, but I want to get rid of some junk in the hand, namely the Psychic Energy and the Lysandre. Psychic Energy in the discard is going to help out with Mega Turbos. Looks like we have prized one Mega. Both our Shaymins are in deck. We'll do some more counts. We have all of our Mega Turbo. Center Lady is in the deck. We have Parallel, which can actually lower their damage output as well as deny our opponent's Shaymin EXs, so that's looking pretty good to me. That seems fine. We'll grab one Mewtwo just to slap it down. And we'll Hoopa now. And we're going to grab one more Mewtwo, Mega, and Shaymin. I think it's fine just to secure the Mega for now, especially because we only have two more Ultra Ball left in deck because we prized one. I think I'd rather just keep one in hand, even though it is one less card from Shaymin. I think that's fine for now. And looks like we have VS Seeker, not much else going on in the hand. We could dig for Shaymin again. I think that's fine. Only 3 cards, but it still seems okay to me. Could get potential Spirit Links or Hex, or just a draw supporter would be kind of cool, as well as energy. There's a lot we need to dig for here, and not much, just a Spirit Link that we can actually apply all of these because of course no tool removal is a thing, so we'll just pass it over and see what the opponent wants to do. Pretty good turn 1 setup. We filled up the bench, so hopefully finding Parallel could be cool. And we'll see what the opponent can do. Without Battle Compressor, it's more awkward for Volcanion to get rid of multiple fire energy. Normally it's stuff like Scorched Earth. We see a Dive Ball. That can actually find the Volcanion EX, of course, because it is a dual type, so that's a cool tech. Probably like a one-off to complement his 4 Ultra Balls. That's a pretty cool option for the Volcanion player. Looks like he's also playing an Octillery in here, so maybe he's not playing any Shaymin at all. Could be a non-EXE build of the Volcanion deck, which could be interesting and awkward for us personally. But we'll see how we do here. Do see a Floatstone on the Remoraid straight away. A manual attachment to Volcanion. And what else are we going to see here? Looks like an Ultra Ball, so probably is playing either Hoopa or Shaymin as well in his deck if he's happy to Ultra Ball here. But actually it is just 2 fire, so he might be doing it just to have more targets, and that looks like what he's doing. He has the Octillery for next turn, so if we were able to find Hex off the top, that would be pretty sweet. And we see the double attachment here straight away. Looks like we top deck Sycamore, so digging seemed fine at this point. We can double Mega Evolve, play the Shrine, and just dig because we need energy this turn. And we do find energy. So far we're doing 3, 6, 7. Okay, we can get ourselves a knockout real quick with a cheeky Mega Turbo. And I feel fine committing DCE. It just puts so much pressure on him. And straight away we'll just Psychic Infinity. Our opponent really wasn't able to develop much. He only has potentially 5 cards to draw into, so we just seem to be in a dominant state right now. Of course, promoting the Remoraid is fine because he has the Floatstone on board. Straight away he goes for Octillery. Let's see if he drew a supporter before he wants to Abyssal Hand or anything playable. Looks like not an insta-play card, so he will draw up to 5. And we are going to see Trainer's Mail. And that's for a VS Seeker. No good options in there so far. And we're going to see an Ultra Ball. Does get rid of that VS Seeker, as well as Fisherman. And I'm going to see Volcanion EX, seeing the issues when you don't play Shaymin in your deck. You're a lot slower. We are going to see a Steam Up. So it looks like this attack is going to be doing 50 for now. And we do see an N, so potentially more Steam Ups on the way. We do have a Hex for next turn. Haven't found Center Lady just yet. Do see another dive ball, so looks like he's playing high counter dive to help out with artillery. Very cool option. Playing a no Shaymin Hoopa deck. There's a second steam up, so this is doing 80 now. So we are going to see that power heater. A time like this, where 100 damage isn't great for us, we could Lysandre artillery this turn, of course, if we're able to find a stadium. We will Trainer's Mail. Oh, we are able to find a stadium. Well then, that's what we're going to do, isn't it? Start committing to the other Mewtwo. Up comes Octillery. And we will damage change. Fully healing and getting a KO, putting us to 4 prizes, putting the opponent under a lot of pressure, and he loses his draw engine, so it seems pretty good to me. Up comes non-EX Hoopa once again. And we're going to see an Ultra Ball. Getting rid of Lysandre and Sycamore, so he's likely holding one more Sycamore or VS Seeker. He does go for that nice secret rare Hoopa, and as we saw, there's the other Sycamore. Pretty easy to read when people discard 2 supporters with an Ultra Ball that they have 3. This is a beautiful Volcanion with the Xerneas in the background. We are going to see a Professor's Letter, so plenty of steam ups coming in. Has to be careful about how much he does. If he goes over 130, obviously it opens up damage change, but instead he's going to put the Fury Belt on. And here comes steam up number 1. And steam up number 2. Weird that the animation only does these 2 things instead of all targets, because of course these are fire as well as water. And it does it for this one, but not the normal Volcanions. That's weird. Maybe just a PTCGO glitchy thing. So you'll see a Trainer's Mail, the opponent deciding if there's anything else he wants to do, but no, just a power heater for 90. Leaving us with 120 HP left. 2 Volcanions have been nicely set up. And we hit Mega Turbo, which is far from ideal with a hand like this. The question is how aggressive we want to go. Putting us to 3 prizes isn't ideal. So it might just be like a slow damage change turn. I think that might be our best option here. Force like more resources out of him. I know it's setting up more Volcanion, but right now I'm not too threatened. I can play Hex and just damage change here. So it means next turn he won't be doing a lot. I can get 1 more manual attachment in. Set this guy up for a nice easy 2-hit. I think that's fine. So here comes the Hex, and we'll just do a slow damage change this turn. With the Hex incorporated, it means this Volcanion will only be doing 30, which really is slow for him. So he probably needs to move on out of there, or I don't know what he can do here. Maybe just pass the turn away, but at the same time, he wants acceleration. So we've put him in a bad spot, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Mewtwo's good at doing that. And we do see another Professor's Letter, so interesting build for sure. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. There's a manual attachment setting up all of his Hoopas. Not Hoopas, what am I saying? Volcanions. And yeah, just that 30 damage. Power heater. So, Trainer's Mailing into a Hex would be hilarious here. Ooh, Center Lady. Ooh, Parallel. So we're on 180. 130 down to 110 means he'd probably have to like Fisherman. I want to take Parallel here, I think. We'll manually attach here. And because we're not shrining, we can put Parallel in. Getting double bonuses with Parallel, of course. We'll get rid of Hoopa and one Shaymin. Don't want to have those Lysandre targets. And we're able to find another Mega. Could choose to put some energy into the discard here and then Super Rod back in to N-proof ourselves a little bit. We'll be going down to 3 prizes. We only have N ourselves. However, next turn I could replace a Stadium myself, Ultra Ball after Super Rodding. Okay, I think we'll do that. So we'll just Psychic Infinity. And looks like there's plenty of Volcanions on the way. We found another Hex, which could be useful for certain. Only 1 energy in his discard pile right now. 3, 6, 7, 8 in play already. So he's going to be playing a large amount to get big steam ups this turn. And he needs 2. And here is a letter. Let's see how many he has left in deck. He does have 2 at least. So here come the steam ups, and we're going to be getting knocked out right now. But we don't really mind, because we've got this guy chilling in the back. And he's going to be doing big numbers. Actually, I hope I didn't incorporate my own Parallel City damage, so he needs another energy in hand. I hope he's added up. Oh, he has. There we go. He's chill. He's super chill. There's the big old Fisherman. So he's got it for next turn as long as he has more Hoopas that he can find. Oh, I keep saying Hoopas. I can't believe it. I'm sorry, guys. I mean Volcanion, obviously. I don't know why I'm calling them Hoopas. And here is the Volcanic Heat for the big 200. And we're going to go Mewtwo. We're going to attach. We're going to Super Rod. These targets back in. Okay, huge amount of overkill. I'm going to put the Shrine in now. Because it's one less card that we can get end into. We've got the Hex. And Psychic Infinity for huge numbers. Really not threatened in terms of a KO. If he Lysandres, we already have the response in hand. I feel pretty confident here. There's the replacement of Stadium. And we are going to see that Lysandre to try and stall, actually to take 2 more prizes, which guarantees that we win the game, so I don't know why he did that. He should have brought this up, right, surely. But hey. We will say GG. Get some more damage in just to be trolly. See how big this boy can get. And we'll just Psychic Infinity for 310 damage. Not bad, not bad. Mewtwo doing things straight off the bat. Pretty cool. Volcanion, it does seem like Volcanion does struggle against this deck as long as you time Hex well. Also another thing, again, it's the same old thing with Garb. They can Lysandre KO with an EX. They're sort of skewing their prize trade, but then from then on, the non-EX becomes a pain for us. So again, I'm justifying Hex all day in this list. Especially because you just saw how well we drew turn 1. And I have to attribute that to being a straight build. Whereas Garb has a lot of clunk. So there we go. The dream is real. We've started Hoopa. Every nightmare for a mega deck. But we'll see how we can handle it. Looks like we have a decent hand beyond that. The opponent's led with Shaymin as well, so not ideal for either party so far. A fail on the trainer's mail. And a Sycamore straight away. Looks like we're in a mirror match, boys. See another mail. Simply because he has space for special charge, I think he's a straight build. Is that too assumptuous? Maybe. We will train his mail, and we will fail ours as well. Hooray. And we will echo his turn with a Sycamore. Oh boy. Slow turns are slow. Best thing is he missed Mewtwo though, so it's almost like we've gone first, if that makes sense, because we'll be the first one to mega up. He decides to parallel, which is weird because that can surely only be a one of. But hey, we also get end. Maybe he was playing it just for better odds. He does find a Mewtwo. Gets a Spirit Link on. Does he attach an energy is the question. Oh, he attached it to Shaymin to Sky Return. Well, let's see how much we can do to this Mewtwo. Oh man, I didn't want to top deck DCE there. I wanted to top deck a non-playable card so I could get better value. Now if I attach DCE, it means I can't... I still can Shatter Shot because I can get Mega Turbo in my final shrine. Okay. Just getting 2 cards from this initial one, but it's really all we need. I actually have to get rid of this Mewtwo here because of the parallel. So we can grab our Mega. We can also Mega Turbo. And we'll set up. Still haven't played a supporter. Something like a Hex would be really good. Just Sycamore and Super Rod. Pretty grim. We'll just, in that case, prod. Of course, not hitting for weakness, otherwise that would be GG. Hundred's actually not terrible of a number because it keeps him out of damage change on a Shaymin. If he commits enough energy to damage change, he should be using Psychic Infinity in this board state, so it's really dependent on how crazy his turn can go. Seeing as though he end and passed, I don't think he has the most playable hand. We'll see. Just a VS Seeker for N, so that is, if anything, proof, but he can still get something like Ultra Ball and a crazy turn, so we'll see what happens here. This is a bit of a nervy spot for us. See an attachment for turn. And just Shatter Shot, so I'm pretty comfortable now. Phew. And I'm literally going to Skyla just for Shrine here, because I want to bench a Mewtwo. That's all I need this turn. Skyla coming in handy. Bit frustrating we couldn't get damage, but we're still in fine shape here. All of our VS Seekers in hand. There's a Spirit Link. There's Super Rod. It's going to fish back the Mewtwo pieces and one Psychic Energy, it looks like. Let's see if he finally has some Hoopa Shaymin shenanigans. Nope, just a Sycamore. Foregoing the option to N us once again. And a pass. Wow. Can we win this turn is the question. 3, 6, 9, 10, 3, 6, 7. I have to hit Mega Turbo to win. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, Mega Turbo for game. So do I dig? Surely I dig. Let's go, boys. All resources gone. Oh, I can just do this, right? Whoops. I was about to dig. Skyla clutch. Get up out of here. Well, the opponent's Mewtwo deck did not set up at all. It's normally a really interesting mirror match, but again, consistency is king, boys. That's all I can say. No need for jank. Gotta win your mirrors. We'll try and get one more game in here, because I had a lot of good feedback that people are liking the longer battle videos. We are still examining the survey that you guys took for us, all the information on there. We're going to start adding and incorporating some of those in maybe a week's time or so, once we've deliberated and talked about and analysed the results of that. But at the moment we're getting a lot of good feedback, so we do thank you for that, and hopefully it's improving the videos on the whole. So far 2-0 with the old Mewtwo. We'll see if we can carry on that train, and we lose the flip unfortunately, and Bowser's minion is able to go first. Looks like we do mulligan. Only 7 basics in our deck, so not too uncommon. Looks like we're up against another fire variant. And leading Shaymin, but we have Ultra Ball for potentially Hoopa, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And looks like, ooh, it's going to be maybe Speed Giratina. That would be quite interesting. Or potentially it's Dragon Mega Ray, which would also be very interesting. So whatever we're up against, it's going to be an interesting game. Double Dragon straight away to the Reshiram. What is this? What is going on here? He's trying to pressurize the Shaymin, and he's going to N. Really interesting. We're going to see an Ultra Ball. Maybe this will shed some light on what the deck is. Might go Hoopa here. Just goes Shaymin. Interesting, interesting. If it's the Dragon Ray build, he'd definitely play Hoopa. If it's the Giratina build, he might still play Hoopa, because he's probably playing Hydreigon as well. So maybe it was prized. Just a pass. Double Hex in hand. Is our Hoopa prize is the question. No is the answer. Do I actually need it here? I go 1. Yeah, I still grab it. Mewtwo's quite greedy. There are times when you don't need to Hoopa, but you still do, just because you want to be greedy. Because this deck is like, it just appreciates lots of cards. So this time around, I'm happy to fill my bench because I can't get another Shaymin value, so We'll do it now. And obviously Shaymin pre-Hex Maniac. Lots of things hitting the discard pile now. Didn't hit energy, which is the biggest shame here. Hex Pass is awful because you can still attach and get a KO. But beyond that, what else can he do? Because next turn, if I just able to find a Mega and DCE, he'll have 3 energy on him. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. That's 170. So I'd also have to hit a Mega Turbo. Okay, we will dig here because he's put pressure on us. Still missing energy. Gross. Nothing I really wish to Ultra Ball for. Question is, do I play Switch now? If so, is it going to be a Mewtwo just to try and sponge and have a good damage change? But that means I need to hit a lot next turn. Do I give him the Shaymin? Do I send up Hoopa and hope to hit Floatstone? I think I just pass. Because if he continues to pressurize with this Reshiram, it means he's most likely not setting up other things right now. So I'm fairly happy with this. Fairly happy. Ooh, we get End. Not sad about that at all, because the hand was again missing a lot. There's some energy. Lots of it. And here is Trainer's Mail, again whiffing. This time grabs himself another Fighting Fury Belt. Double Dragon onto Reshiram. Here comes the Brightwing for 120. And he's going to get rid of the Fire Energy. So, you know what that means. Mewtwo time. Oh boy. 4, 5, 6. Sweet. Let's grab the Mega. Let's go Mega. And I am slightly concerned about getting rid of a VS Seeker here. Simply because he could be playing Giratina, right? And he's just not found stuff. And then I'm running out of Hexes. I have to keep the last 2 VS Seekers for Hex Maniacs in that situation. Or Lysandre. How many Lysandres have I been through? 1 as well. What else do we need this turn? Not much. I think we can just punch him. Kapow. All of his energy off the board. Shaymin into the active position. We feel fairly comfortable here. There is finally an Ultra Ball. Let's see if keeping this VS Seeker is correct or not. There's a Giratina, boys, so just saying. Just saying. Super Saiyan. There's Double Dragon, there's Elixir. Speedy Tina, boys. And VS Seeker for N. Let's see if he can hit Elixir Floatstone or Elixir Switch. That would be pretty clutch. There's a switch. He's already attached though. Wow, he's letting us. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We just got to hit Mega Turbo, right? We'll take the Shrine because he hasn't Chaos Wheeled yet. Come on. Oh, no Mega Turbo. Where? Which means, do we attack at all? Scoop anyway. Okay, cool. So, we overcame everything we had to. Mewtwo was just charging through everything pretty much. So I'll give you one last look at the list. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about Mega Mewtwo. It was clearly quite dominant in those games, just setting up, doing what it had to do. And it just has enough inside the deck to be awkward for a lot of decks. So hope you all enjoyed, and let me know what you guys think about the list. Maybe something I've missed, maybe other inclusions for the deck, what you think about the deck, the format, whatever else. Leave it all in the comment section below. Leave a like to this video if you did. And for now, it has been Joe from OmniPoke, and I will see you guys next time.